Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I'm back again with another video. I hope you're all well and safe. So if you are an old subscriber, then welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, then I make a lot of bookish content. So if you are a book lover and a reader or would like to become one, then do hit that subscribe button and don't forget to press the bell icon. So in today's video, I'm going to review a book which was sent to me by the author, and that book is Mystery of the Urban Monks by Vikram Singh. So let's get started. John is an American writer and a publisher, and he's traveling to Varanasi on train. So on this train journey, he meets a rather interesting man named Yogesh, who is a yogi and who teaches meditation in Rishikesh. After a little chit chat, Yogi offers to tell a story, and John readily agrees, and Yogi promises that after listening to his story, John will have a better understanding of life. So the story that Yogi ends up telling John is about three friends, Krish, Tony and Asif. All three of them are friends and all three of them live in Mumbai. So Krish is married to Meera and he has two children. He is an entrepreneur who has his own software company called Roversoft. Then there is Tony, who has been described as a high school dropout vodka crazy womanizer. Yes, that's his description. And then there is Asif, who sells Afghani carpets, but he doesn't make a lot of money from it because his actual love is music. So the three friends decide to go to Goa, and while they are on the plane to Goa, Tony ends up sitting next to a lady called Leila, who turns out to be a tarot reader, and she makes a very confident prediction that after their trip to Goa, the lives of these three friends will change entirely. So the story talks about what happens during the trip to Goa and what happens after that trip. A very big question is whether the prediction made by the tarot reader comes true or not. So a lot is going on in this story, and it has a lot of adventure, and it takes us to quite a few places. Some of them are still closer to home like Varanasi, but we also get to go to Tibet in search of a Buddhist monk, and quite unexpectedly to Afghanistan as well. This story talks about the collective journey of these three friends along with their individual spiritual journeys as well. So yes, definitely a very big theme in this book and in this story is that of spirituality. Also, while Yogi tells John this story, we get to read about their conversations as well, as Yogi keeps taking a break from telling the story. So we have this story going on and their conversation as well. Now talking about how I liked reading Mystery of the Urban Monks by Vikram Singh. So the first thing to know about this book is that it is a quick and a breezy read. I read this book in 2 sittings. It has 142 pages. So I read 90 pages in first sitting and 52 pages in my second sitting. I could have read this book in a single sitting as well had my time permitted. The first time around I did not realize that I had read 90 pages, and the second time around I did not realize that I had reached the end of the story, because somehow the story is engaging enough that you do not realize that you are getting through so many pages. I feel the reason why this book seems like a light read is because it has been told through a story of three friends, and because of that it does not sound preachy. It conveys the message that it wants to convey, but it does so in a manner that gives the impression of being light-hearted. Even though the title of this story is Mystery of the Urban Monks, I won't say that the mystery element in this book is sky high like that of a murder mystery. The mystery element in this book is enough to make you curious, you want to know what's going to happen next. So it keeps you engaged to the story, and I feel that was good. But at the same time, just because the title has mystery does not really make it a suspense thriller, because definitely this book leans more towards spirituality. The story talks about three friends, Krish, Asif and Tony. So out of these three friends, for me definitely Krish was the most sorted character, because he had so much of his life together. Even though Krish was the most sorted, I feel it was Tony's story that was the most interesting for me to read as a reader. Krish was definitely the most relatable character for me personally, because I related to him to a certain degree, and I also know quite a few people who are like him in terms of their ambitions to achieve material success. Now if I talk about Asif's character, Asif's story was interesting as well, but I feel that he was kind of on the periphery when it comes to the story in comparison to these other two characters. So apart from the main story, the conversations that take place between Yogi and John that are aside from the story were also quite interesting to read. I particularly liked a discussion that they have about astrology. The writing in this book is very simple and the language is quite easy, which is why this book is a breezy read, as I mentioned earlier. There are editing mistakes mistakes which are mostly typographical errors, because they are mostly spelling mistakes. So if they can be fixed in the future editions, that will be great for the book. And one thing that I have to mention about this book is that there are books that get over descriptive. This book falls in the opposite category. I feel that this book should have been more descriptive, and when I say that, I do not mean that it should have been more preachy. I did get the overall message through the journeys of all these three characters, but I felt that the book could have added more details to the individual stories, especially to the stories of Tony and of Asif. I felt that there were portions in their stories where things felt a bit rushed and hurried. It's not a bad thing if a book is a quick read and if it's able to deliver its message, but at the same time, there are some books that definitely have the scope for being more elaborate. This is definitely one of those books. So even though I felt this book could have been a bit more detailed, I still had a good experience reading this book overall. I did not have to strain my mind too much, and I still understood what the story was trying to tell me. So if you want to check this book out, then I leave the link for that in the description box. That was my review of Mystery of the Urban Monks by Vikram Singh. I hope you liked it, and if you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay safe.